So the city of New Orleans, full of culture and a fascinating tradition, its history could be described in a lot of ways. Colorful, thrilling, at times tragic. Author Jason Berry refers to it as a city of a million dreams in his latest book, calling it A History of New Orleans at year 300. He's going to be in Fairhope tonight for a book signing, and right now we've got him in the studio. He's a good friend of my co-anchor Bob Gribb. So Bob is doing the interview today. He came in early. Hey there, guys.
Hello, Lenise, and thank you, Jason, for being here. I appreciate that. I've been really enjoying your book because this is not a history textbook. This reads like a novel, and that's the beauty of it. I love reading it, and it almost sounds too weird to be true, but when you've got folks like Bienville and D'Iberville, who have links, of course, to Mobile,
yes,
they make for a very interesting story.
Bienville, thank you very much, Bob, for having me. Bienville had snake tattoos
all over
his body and would go out to fight Indians, sometimes in the nude, according to the diarist. That, in fact, the work I drew upon was published by the Museum of Mobile some years ago. You know, New Orleans is like a phoenix. It keeps rising out of its failures and floods and fires and hurricanes. And this is a character-driven history with characters I could not have made up in a novel.
There are a lot of characters. Now, Mobile has its share of characters, or did in the past, and probably still does. But New Orleans takes the cake.
Yeah, I mean, you think of someone like Benjamin Latrobe, who came down from Baltimore to design the waterworks and ended up doing one of the most famous accounts of the Congo Square slave dances, and then within a year died of yellow fever, leaving this brilliant journal. Or someone like Louis Armstrong, who of course traveled the world, and as we are now beginning to learn, left hundreds of pages of written reminiscences, some of which I was fortunate enough to draw on.
And he recorded himself a lot, but yet he didn't want to come back here for his funeral. He felt that black musicians weren't treated well in New Orleans.
Toward the end of his life, he died in 1971. Armstrong felt that the city had not been fair to black people. Certainly history would bear out that judgment. But his music inspired so many younger artists who came up after him, and I think in a sense his legacy lives, certainly in that way.
You write almost like, I wouldn't say a fly on the wall, but maybe a mosquito on the wall, considering the yellow fever outbreaks that Mobile had. If you go to Church Street Cemetery, you can see evidence of that. And in New Orleans, and how something as simple as a mosquito can really cause a lot of devastation.
The most fascinating person in this book for me to research was a colored Creole mortician, Pierre Cazenave, who buried people during the yellow fever epidemics, was the first undertaker to use embalming, and hired musicians. This is in the 1850s, terrible epidemics. Hired musicians to march through the streets playing gay, lively music, which the Times-Picayune frowned on at the time.
Now, you're going to be at Page and Palette this evening.
At 6 o'clock,
6 o'clock.
Signing and giving a talk. So I hope your viewers, or some of them at least, will come. And the book has just been published and thankfully has pretty good reviews so far.
All right, Jason Berry, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate a good chance to see you again.
Thank you, Bob. It's always a pleasure.
All right, Jason, back to you.